Nigerian men in diaspora needs to be careful of the woman they decide to get married to in Nigeria. Lagos again. Lagos girls. There's a problem when you talk about Lagos City. There is a spirit in Lagos till date that is the spirit of slavery. And the spirit of slavery is a traumatized spirit. A lot of people who live in Lagos today still battle that spirit. So when tradition and culture is removed from a place, what is remaining there is immorality. It is rare for you to see a university girl in Nigeria who has not done prostitution, who have not done side chick for a big man. It is rare for you to see the ones that have fear of God. Because the moment you receive a gift from someone, in one way, psychologically, directly or indirectly, you owe that person something. Money does not secure the loyalty of a Nigerian woman. Anyone who tells you that money secures the loyalty of a Nigerian woman, that person is giving you an nautical, perpetual lie. Today's episode is another banger. Sit tight and relax. Welcome to today's episode. Welcome to the Man of Thought. And today we are going to be discussing about how women defraud men in diaspora. I know when I start with this subject, a lot of people would say, is this guy a misogynist? Does he hate women? Wait, first of all, before we proceed, I'm a married man and I've been in relationship with my wife for over 9 years, and we've been married for over 6 years. And with that, I have 2 beautiful children. I'm still with the same woman. We don't cheat. I know when I say it, it could be like, say, you are crazy. Nigerian men, they used to cheat. Yeah, that's fine. If you want to believe whatever you want to believe. But I'm not the cheating type, and I love my wife. But on the reality aspect, I've made a decision sometimes to speak about subjects like this that affect people in diaspora, simply because I would say that majority of my friends, about 70 to 80% of them, are in diaspora. I met a lot of them after I started purchasing property, and we're able to relate. And with that, I begin to see some of their struggles. I begin to see how we fit in different things. And we had many discussions. And in the discussions we had, I realized that most of the diasporas are actually the people that make Nigeria what it is today. Is Nigeria conducive? No. Nigeria is not conducive. Nigeria is not that fine. But at the end of the day, these are the people who even do something that looks a little bit presentable, that makes the country at least have a little bit of life. Now, is our government not doing anything? 1,000,000%, it seems our government is trying to do something, but we are not seeing anything that our government are doing. And I decided to talk about this subject, that Nigerian men in diaspora needs to be careful of the woman they decide to get married to in Nigeria, simply because most of them, despite the fact that the ones I know, some of them are married outside the country, some of them even have children in the UK, in the US, in Canada, and the rest of it. But at some point, they make a decision that they want to come back to Nigeria and establish family. How important is it to establish family in your motherland? Well, at the end of the day, I think that when people go out of the country and you look at the beautiful structures that are being built in that area in the Western country, at some point, even if you raise a family there, you find out that you are kind of outcasted. That means you don't have a self of belonging within that particular environment. There's a female friend of mine, I wouldn't call her a female friend, I'll call her a female neighbor of mine currently, who already has children outside the country, and she's doing fine. In the UK, in fact, she is already a citizen there. She has a green card, and she made a decision also to come to Nigeria and to come relax. She's getting close to her 50s, and she says she don't feel a sense of belonging. She wants her children to live their life over there, but she wants to come back to Nigeria, and she wants to relax her life. Most people who end up coming back to Nigeria find something that some part of them still belong to this country, regardless of the success, regardless of the good lives over there, regardless of the security. Most of them will tell you that they feel like they are being enslaved there, regardless of the funds and the money that they can make. Most people make money just to pay money. In fact, if it is a Nigerian man that is married to a Western woman, that man is just like a slave who is there to manufacture children, work and take care of those children and the wife, and does not feel like a man. And some of them begin to think to come back to their country, Nigeria, because they feel like a sense of belonging when they come back to Nigeria themselves, and they begin to raise family here. I have few of my friends who have done that successfully and who are still doing it. But there are certain traps that you guys need to be aware of. Just like the way I talk about the real estate fraud, just like I talk about the Yahoo Boys fraud, same thing, the women frauds are also available. The basic thing that happens is when most of us wants to come back to Nigeria, or most Western men, diaspora Nigerians wants to come back to Nigeria, most of you, your route is always at Ikeja Airport. Many of you, not all of you, but a lot of you are always from Ikeja. That is where the route you're going to take. And that means that most likely you are going to associate yourself with Lagosians. Lagos, Lagos, Lagos again, Lagos girls. There's a problem when you talk about Lagos City. I have already made a video that I'm going to be pushing out to the world by probably the end of this week that I spoke about Lagos Slave City and many things you need to understand about Lagos, which I made it clear somehow in that video that is the reality of Nigerians' history, that if not because of Lagos, we would have probably not been enslaved in the first place because slavery came through Lagos. In fact, Lagos is the place where we used to trade slaves and do the rest of all those business. And today it has become that city whereby the slavery still continues, but a lot of people are not aware because they are more excited about the lifestyle there. Now, the Europeans, the British, and the rest of them have been able to penetrate Nigeria as a whole, the name that is being given to us, but African, which is our originality, was the Nigerian name was being bestowed upon us by the British by passing through Lagos to capture the whole side of the place that is being named Nigeria today. In that sense, what am I saying? There is a spirit in Lagos till date that is the spirit of slavery. And the spirit of slavery is a traumatized spirit. And in the traumatized spirit, a lot of people who live in Lagos today still battle that spirit, including the men and the women. They may not be aware of it. They may not be conscious of it. They may not agree with me when I make statements like this and they say this guy is probably out of his senses. But you ask ourselves, where would you get the most biggest prostitute in Nigeria? Lagos. Where will you get the most criminals in Nigeria? Lagos. You want to ask if maybe what I'm saying is true or false? Please, we can look at our prison system. How many prisons do we have in Nigeria? Do the calculation and look at how many prisons. It's something you can Google on your own. Look at how many prisons Lagos only have. The population of prisoners in Nigeria is more in Lagos. Now, you might be having this kind of discussion within yourself and you want to ask questions like, maybe it's because the population is much. But there's something that actually drags them to move from all kinds of states to that particular state. And what is it? Some of you would say money. Some of you would say business. Some of you would say liberation. But one thing we can't say is tradition and culture. So when tradition and culture is removed from a place, what is remaining there is immorality. And you would say, do you think that a country, a place without tradition and culture, how would you make such a statement that when there's no tradition and culture, it is immorality? That simply means what I meant by that statement is there is nothing that bounds them to move in a particular direction, so everyone does what they please. It's a place for exploration. A lady who decides that she wants to get married, a lady who decides that she wants to have a good life and she wants to raise family, majority of them, if they are not born in Lagos, I may ask, why are you here in Lagos? Some of them would say because of their education, NYSC, university, blah, 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 and the rest of it. And you ask them, what is the life you have been living since you have been in university? It is rare for you to see a university girl in Nigeria who has not done prostitution, who have not done side chick for a big man? Most times it's because those ladies are actually ugly. It is rare for you to see the ones that have fear of God. So when you are in diaspora and you are looking for a wife, and you say the wife that you have in the Western culture are not good, and you want to get married to the ones in Nigeria, yes, we have very good Nigerian women. But I'll be giving you a detail on how you will be getting a good Nigerian woman. How can you get a good Nigerian woman? First of all, you want to ask me, do I have a good Nigerian woman? Because the messenger should be fit to pass the message across. So my case will not look like Saida Boju begins to encourage, who begins to talk about women are great, women are this, women body should not be body shamed because your housewife is not this. I don't want to go into this. So when you look at the statistics of my own life and what I have done with my own family, I have been very successful, and I'm not using that to brag, but I've been very successful because the testimony of other people. The Bible will say, "Ìjẹ́rìí ènìyàn ni ìjẹ́rìí àwọn áńgẹ́lì." In the environment I stay, once you call my wife is more or less like the number one. In fact, the only way you can get us, you can miles away from where we reside. You call my wife's name for any bike, car, people in different locations, and I give you the name of my wife. They bring you to our family direct. My wife is more popular than me. My children are more famous than me. Maybe it's simply because I'm on Google. I'm on YouTube, sorry. And I don't want this to be about my family, but what I'm trying to say is this. I know about good women. And one of the methods I did when I wanted to get my wife was that I used to be a barber, a stylist, barber. In the year 2017, 2016, I used to be a barber. And during that period, I was at Lekki barbing for people. And then ladies start trooping to me, I have tattoos all over my body. I was a fine guy then, big boy without responsibility. And girls are flocking to me. And what I did was that I began to make a decision to give them resources, money. So when they ask for things, I give the girls. There were about 4 or 5 of them that I was dating then. But one thing that was outstanding about my wife during that period was that she was the only person who was staying with her family. She actually lost her mom during that period, around 2016 or so. And rather than her to live independently, which her father was very wealthy, but because the father was probably had a stepmother or a second wife, and that has the woman also have a lot of children. Rather than her to stay independently, just like an average Lagosian woman who would want to live their life as an independent woman, she decided to stay with her mother's family, and they came and they were staying together. So they knew her movements, they knew where she goes, they know what she takes, they know what she don't take. The tradition and the culture of their family was still there, despite the fact they were in Lekki. And when I was tipping every other woman, I would give this one 2,000, I might give this one 5,000, I might give this one 10,000, I might give this one 15,000. I did not have 5 million to give to people like Saida Boj would always demand. But when I give them that money, all of them will take the money, maybe prepare food, do some kind of stuff, or take the money and appreciate me and all of that. My wife during that time, which was my girlfriend then, would take the money and give it back to me and say that this money you've been giving to me, I have kept it for you. Take back this money, you are going to need it. Were our family taking good care of her? No. In fact, I was so much aware then that she was not in a good time at that period with her dad. And because she was not, her dad was upset for certain reasons. Why she was, school issues and the rest of it. While she was going through that phase, the family where she was staying with, it was rare for them to even give her money to feed. Yet, if I give my wife 1,000 naira, she would most likely return the 1,000, or on an average, return 600 naira back to me. Or if she takes the money twice, she will keep it. And when I need something, she will return the money back to me. she was more interested in my growth than herself. And we would say that probably she's selfless or she has no experience. That's what most people would say. But I think that it was basically because of tradition and culture, that it is not everything a man gives to you. Most of it could be a trap. Because the moment you receive a gift from someone, in one way, psychologically, directly or indirectly, you owe that person something. She was trying not to be so indebted to me. And she was trying to also look at my well-being. She was trying not to jeopardize the aspect of her saying that, let me use this as an opportunity to gain things to myself. Because this is the mentality of a lot of women at that particular time. So where am I driving this matter to? When I saw the whole issues that was going on, at the end of the day, she became the best candidate that I could get married to. She became the best person that I think that I could entrust my wealth to. It got to a point after we started dating and we became very serious and we moved to a different location. I started making money. I changed my business. I was not into barbing then. I was into certain businesses then. When I make money, I would entrust it in my wife. I could have 3 million. She was the only person I could entrust money. I entrusted money with my wife more than I entrust money with my own family. I could keep 3 million with my wife. And when I ask her in the next 2 months, how much is there? That 3 million is still there. In fact, if I need extra cash, she has used that 3 million to make more money. So there's a place I'm going with this story. Where I'm actually going is, you cannot be in diaspora, make a decision that you want to come to your mother's land to raise a family here, and then you make a decision to just pick out any lady, which most of you do. And when you pick out ladies, your problem that you think that the Western woman is so degrading, disrespectful, and all of that, when you get the Nigerian woman who is not traditional, who does not have culture, who has lost the sense of belonging to a culture and tradition, and who believes in independence, people like who, Saida Boj and Blessing CEO, you ruin your life more. And then you ask yourself, most of you will come here, you want to quickly raise a family, and you take that same lady and you go and do traditional marriage and the rest of it. You spend millions of naira on her. You did not take your time to vet, but you were able to spend millions thinking that the money you make over there is going to secure the loyalty of a Nigerian woman. Money does not secure the loyalty of a Nigerian woman. Anyone who tells you that money secures the loyalty of a Nigerian woman, that person is giving you an nautical, perpetual lie. An African woman, Nigerian woman specifically, would love you regardless of money or not. It is some of them that do not have loyalty in their DNA. Most of them who has lost culture and tradition, those are the ones who will tell you otherwise. And some of you would say, what of the Igbo women? Most Igbo women would always choose men that are already wealthy. True. Most Igbo women that I know that are actually successful, because I've met with few of them, actually started business and helped their husband to grow to where they are. And because they were able to do this, they became so wealthy, and then they became someone who had the inheritance of the man. To every successful Igbo man you see out there, there's a strong woman who gives him advice. I repeat myself, it is the strong advice that is being given by an Igbo man through his woman. That is the only reason why most of the men are long-term successful. Now, does it mean that they might not make a decision to get engaged with another woman as much as they become more wealthy? I think if any man becomes more successful than he ever thinks and he begins to build his empire, most likely men would act in their innate nature to reprocreate, and sometimes a woman might not be able, just one woman might not be able to give him everything that he wants. But that does not change your own ways of life, because when you look at it, most of you already have family over there, and some of you are like the women over there in the Western culture are more promiscuous and are uncontrollable, and that's the reason why you think that Nigerian women can be controllable. Nigerian woman cannot be controlled if she don't love you. Nigerian woman cannot be controlled just simply because you have money. No, they might pretend, but pretending is not submission. Submission is not respecting you. So the moment she cannot submit to you simply because she follows certain things that she actually trusts about you, and you think your wealth is the only way you can use to control her, Nigerian woman is the woman you can never control with money. I am saying it wholeheartedly, and I believe most Nigerian women might agree with me. Most, not all. Do they want you to be successful? Yes. If a Nigerian woman complains to you and tells you that they want you to be wealthy, you should be rich as other men and all of that, it is two ways they are looking at it. Some of them is because they got married to you because you already had money and they wanted you to keep providing for them. Or most likely, they are trying to tell you to think as a man to grow yourself so you can become a better version of yourself. Not because they hate you. But what would they have done? You are the breadwinner of the house. Their job is to remind you to be more successful. And you have to be able to discern for yourself at what part of emotion is this woman coming from in the aspect of she passing this message across to me. This is very important. And I will tell you in the next episode, in one of my new eggs, in the next episode, not this week, probably by next week, I will still be touching on this. How to get a good Nigerian woman if you are in diaspora. Have a blessed day. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to my channel. There are still very good Nigerian women in Nigeria. But Lagos, you have to be very careful in dealing with them. So have a blessed day. See you in the next one. Adios, amigos.
When you are revolutionary and you talk the truth, people will come and slap you down. And then you talk the truth again, they'll lock you in jail. They never hear anything at all. Then go hear pansa pansa. When you are revolutionary and you talk the truth, people will come and slap you down. And then you talk the truth again, they'll lock you in jail. They never hear anything at all. Then go hear pansa pansa.